From Irving High School, it is the ICTN Game of the Week. We have 6A boys high school baseball. The Nimitz Vikings taking on the Irving Tigers. Hi, everybody. Rob Willman with you tonight in a pleasant evening, a little overcast, a lot of windy. It's blowing straight out tonight. Some on the crew believe we're going to see our first home run of the season. The wind's at about 6, gusts up to 12. Sometimes it feels like it's at a good 25. But nonetheless, 73 degrees. You see Old Glory out in center field. A gentle blow right now, if you will. But every now and then, we get a pretty good gust blowing out of here at Tiger Yard. R.J. Benitez on the hill tonight for the Irving Tigers. The Tigers come in sweeping MacArthur and then dropping 4 straight, whereas the Nimitz Vikings have won 2 out of the last 4. These two teams have played once before, not in a district play, but right before district in a tournament. Irving won that one at 9-4. Baseball standings in 6A. Boy, a big game by Marcus. They have come out of nowhere. Now, I say that. It took them a while to get going, but they swept Flower Mound. They're tied with Flower Mound and Coppell at 8-2. Big dog fight there for that last playoff spot between Hebron and Louisville, the Fighting Farmers. You see the Irving, Nimitz, and MacArthur records in 6A. Let's go ahead and take a look at the starting lineups for the Nimitz Vikings. They are the visitors, led by Alan Somwang, the head coach. They have 3 seniors, 1 sophomore, and 5 juniors in the starting lineup. We have Coronado leading things off. He's a good hitter. He's at short. Maskarnik at catching, batting second. McGee third. Hugo Campos in the cleanup spot, followed by Armenta, Noah Perez, Anthony Morales, Aaron Wright, and Dom Greenman, the senior right fielder, wearing number 6. Again, on the mound tonight for the Irving Tigers will be the starter R.J. Benitez. Just a little over 5 runs. His problem, like a lot of the pitchers, is they're walking a lot. He can strike out a lot. He has struck out 44 through the season, but he's also walked 32. And that'll come back to bite you. And the first pitch, a beautiful breaking ball right over the middle for a called strike. And very quickly, RJ's brother, Andrew, says, I want time. I don't know, maybe they got mixed up a little bit on the calls. So they're going to go back over what is what, and he will come back behind the plate. Last time we're here, we went, about 11, 12 innings against MacArthur. And that one finally won in the last at bat for Irving High. That is sliced out of play down the right field line. And very quickly, RJ is ahead on the count, 0-2 to Coronado. Coronado batting .313. He's only struck out 5 times this year. And he bounces this one to short. Diaz has a long throw, and it's a little wide. I don't know. Perhaps Coronado might have beaten that one out anyway. We're liberal in the broadcast booth. We give him a base hit. So Coronado leads things off, the junior to first. Look at the replay again. Diaz with the high hopper. Look, it took just a little bit too much time, and I think he would have beat that one out, so we're going to give him the base hit. And then I think he looked up and saw that Coronado was almost at first base and rushed his throw. Runner moving. A throw down to second a little high and to the left field side of second base. So Coronado gets the stolen base. And he's down at second in scoring position. To Maskarnik, the catcher, wearing number 10, batting just .130. With only 5 RBIs, but he has a chance to pick one up here, and he fouls this one to the right and out of play. On deck, Micah McGee, the senior. One of 3 for Nimitz tonight in the starting lineups. Sun will go down in about another hour, but again, it's overcast. Slow roller past the pitcher. Coronado has to go back to second, and this time Diaz throws a bullet to first, and there's one down. Benitez just kind of let that one go on the hill, let his shortstop field it, and Diaz this time going to his left. Watch it, just a high hopper. Benitez really just didn't have a chance at it, and with Diaz there going to his left, fires a strike, and there's one down. So McGee up. Looks at the first pitch for a called strike on the outside corner. Micah batting close to 300 for the season. Could be in double digits in RBIs if he could come through here. There's only one player on this Viking roster in double digits, or just one in double digits on RBIs. That's Manny Rodriguez. Fastball high and away. Coronado taking a few steps after the pitch. Andrew Benitez with the fake down to second. And it's 2 balls and a strike with one down here in the top of the first. Boy, the season just flew by. As always on ICTN, our last spring sport. And then you have the summer to sleep in. Or hit the pool. Or take a vacation. The list is endless. RJ looks at second. That is strike 2. Boy, McGee said, that looked a little outside, and seemed like it took a second for the home plate umpire to make the call. But now it's full of 3-2. There's another curveball. This is way outside, and there's 2 on. That's what we were discussing. Is this how some of these pitchers have a hard time with walks? Now Perez, he's not an overpowering pitcher, or correct that Benitez. He gets the 32 walks with the 44 strikeouts, and that's the problem. Just as many walks as strikeouts. Runners moving right past the pitcher. No play at second. One hop to first. He can't handle it. All hands safe, and the bases are loaded. Oh, the possibilities. As McGee had a good jump. Everybody was running. Coronado and McGee both taking off on the pitch. Hits the mound. The second baseman, Medina, couldn't touch the base. Had plenty of time at first, but Contreras just has a hard time handling it. Pops out of his glove, and the bases are loaded. We do have time because down at second base is McGee talking to his third base coach. Don't know if he hurt himself. Yeah, he's pointing to his wrist. Going back to second base on that play. Meanwhile, it'll be Ricardo Armenta with the bases loaded and just an out. Irving in a jam here in the top of the first. That is a strike called to Armenta, the left fielder. Batting a shade under 200. The RBIs few and far between for the Nimitz Vikings this year. They have a chance here, right field. Loza, second baseman, comes over. Medina, that was hit a lot shorter than initially, and a good play by Medina. Had a good jump on it, made a little scoop grab, and there are 2 down. So Noah Perez, the pitcher, Noah getting the start. We saw Noah in relief a couple of weeks ago on ICTN. So Perez with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Swings at the first pitch and comes up empty. Noah batting under 200. Only 3 RBIs. Nimitz has played 23 games. They've brought in 56 runs, so just a tad over 2 runs a ball game. If you have a great pitcher, that's all you need is 2, but traditionally you need 4 or 5 in high school ball to walk away with a win. Meanwhile, Perez behind on the count 0-2, and RJ is 1 strike away from getting out of the top of the first inning without any damage. Pretty much everybody straight away. Curveball right back to the pitcher. Why not? We've had a bunch that way. And Benitez calmly tosses over to his first baseman. And the Vikings leave 3 on board here in the top of the first. May come back to haunt them. But right now, it's going to be Irving's turn to come to the plate. And we'll go ahead and take a look at the starting lineups for Irving and how that batting order will shape up. And then we'll follow that with the defensive positioning by the Nimitz Vikings in the background. So Rodriguez will lead things off. Jose Contreras batting second. RJ Benitez third. Loza at cleanup. Hart fifth, he's the DH, followed by Diaz, Medina, batting eighth, Millen, the left fielder, and Chance Malcolmesius, the center fielder, batting ninth. Since they do have the DH, I'll say it this way, Irving has 4 seniors, 11 juniors, or 2 juniors, excuse me, and 4 sophomores. That's how young they are. 2 juniors, 4 sophomores, and just 4 seniors on this team for Irving High School. But you're looking at the starting pitcher, number 24, Noah Perez. ERA of over 6. He has struck out 13, walked 9. He's appeared in 8 games. And defensively, for Nimitz, you've got Armenta in left, McGee in center, Greenman in right, Morales, Coronado, Wright, and Campos are your infielders. Maskarnik is the catcher, and Noah Perez, your pitcher. The lefty came on late in the ball game against MacArthur 2 weeks ago at the Shipyard. So we'll see him as a starter tonight. First pitch is a curveball right over to Christian Rodriguez, one of those 4 sophomores for Coach Campbell. Working quickly, one hopper to short. Coronado can't handle, and Rodriguez is aboard. Make that an E6. So Rodriguez gets a break, and when you have somebody like Perez out there pitching, you got to be good defensively. Contreras batting 167 with the throw over to first. His on-base percentage is .377. Curveball. So far, we've seen a lot of breaking pitches, some light stuff tossed up by Noah. Not overpowering, trying to fool the batters. Comes home with it, the fake bunt. Maskarnik behind the plate, thinking about throwing down to Campos at first. And there's your batter, Jose Contreras, the sophomore. Right-handed batter, time called by the plate umpire. Telling one of the Irving batters on the on-deck circle they have one of those lead weights. It wasn't on the bat, it was just rolling around, and he said, get rid of that. That can be a hazard. So it's 1-1, another bunt attempt, nicely done down the right side of the infield. The pitcher missed the tag, and then he tosses over to the first baseman. That was a little helter-skelter there as Contreras almost beat the tag and then beat the throw, but nonetheless, he gets a sacrifice. 1-3 on the putout and moves a runner down. Watch again. Nice bunt, just right down the line, and watch Perez. He goes with the glove hand and just missed him, and then he flips. So he gets the out. But Rodriguez is down at second, and RJ Benitez another breaking ball. I'm thinking tonight, if you're an Irving Tiger batter, just wait for the breaking pitch. That's what Noah's going to give you, at least so far here in the bottom of the first. Another one, pretty pitch right on the outside corner. And Rodriguez goes back to second base. Rodriguez has 1 stolen base and has been caught stealing once so far. Not a lot of opportunities to take off. He fakes the move and it's popped straight up. That's Karnick and chase, and it goes over and bounces up into the stands, and one of the JV players for the Vikings makes the catch on the bounce. If you're younger, you'll remember those Super Balls those compact rubber that would bounce like crazy. You go out in the streets and get as far back as we could, throw it as high as we could, and see how far we could make that thing bounce over your opponent's head. A little game, if you will. 2-2, 1 out. There is Coach Campbell. First year for the Irving Tigers. Said he wanted to get back home. Always with that stopwatch in his hand. Noah looks at second. A breaking pitch. This is high, though. And that'll fill the count at 3-2. David Loza, the right fielder, on deck. Pretty nice lead up by Rodriguez. Right to short. They're going to go to third, and they've got him in a rundown. Rodriguez back to second. That's Perez, and executed well by the Vikings. So fielder's choice for Benitez, and Rodriguez is thrown out. Oh, pick your number. A host of players in the rundown. This is the end of it. This is the pitcher, Perez, and eventually tagged out as the Vikings made that hot box just a little smaller. It made it where Rodriguez couldn't escape. Meanwhile, Hernandez, Rolando Hernandez, number 8, will pinch run at first. So 2 outs, and Hernandez at first after the fielder's choice. Loza, your cleanup hitter. And it's another curveball, and it's hit high in the sky to center. McGee coming in, makes the catch, inning over. So they get a base runner, but they can do nothing with it. And we have finished an inning of baseball and no score. Before we look at the batting order or the defensive alignment, let's take a look at the standings in 6-6A. And it's been that Flower Mound stronghold at the top of the list. Marcus, Flower Mound, Coppell at 8-2, and let's take a good look at their overall numbers. 20-9, 20-7. Coppell is 16-9, so that means they're pretty close to 20 games, and Hebron's, they've only lost 10. So pretty solid up there. That's the work that the Tigers, Vikings, and Cardinals have in front of them to try to crack the top 4 and see what they can do next year with the young players they have this year to try to get up there and make postseason play. By the way, Flower Mound down in state for soccer. Irving made the Final Four last year. Flower Mound this year, they defeated the Gophers 2-1 in the regional finals, so they're down in Austin. Very quickly, let's look at the defensive lineup for the Irving Tigers, and we'll start with the outfield. And you've got Millen in left, Malcolmesius in center, and Loza in right. Infield, Rodriguez at third, Diaz, Medina, Contreras, and then R.J. Benitez, your pitcher, throwing to his brother Andrew Benitez behind the plate. So we have 7, 8, and 9 here in the top of the second inning. No score. And Morales, the lefty, swings at the first pitch. Malcolmesius and the second baseman instead. Medina twice been fooled on just how hard that ball has been hit. And maybe the wind, instead of throwing this thing out of the park, is holding it up. Second time, it just barely made it out of the infield, and a good job by Medina to field that one. So there's one down, and Aaron Wright, the second baseman, looks at a fastball low. Benitez will change it up. Loves the breaking pitch, but that'll set up the fastball as well. That one high and tight. Right, the only sophomore for Nimitz in the starting lineup. They have 3 seniors, also 5 juniors. So only losing 3, at least of the starters tonight. Fastball low and inside. RJ already walking 1 in the first. It's a long inning. Six batters came to the plate, but the most important thing is he kept them from scoring. It's a fastball called strike, and Aaron Wright taking all the way on the 3-0 count. 1 base hit so far in the ball game. That came in the first. Nice, pretty wide shot. There's a fastball again. At first, fair, then it kind of has a little spin on it, goes sideways, and foul ball. And the 3-2 offering. They lost another.
Number 6,
so there's a second walk given up by RJ, and number 9 hitter Greenman, senior, plays right field. Will they send the runner or not at first? Right holds off. Greenman has been at bat 46 times this year. Has only struck out 8, walked 4. Has scored 12 runs. Not bad. Means he's getting on board and he's getting picked up because he is a number 9. And you have someone like a Coronado on deck, the leadoff guy. You've got a good guy behind you to pick you up. Right in front of Benitez, and there's nothing he can do about it as Wright goes down to second. Might have another one of those brotherly conversations. If that happens again, a breaking ball. Oh, it hit the umpire. You can thank Blue for that one for not going a little bit further. Bunt, right side, foul. Greenman, I think, surprised a few people on the 1-1 count. And Wright goes back to second. To me, that just shows you Coach Somwang's thoughts about how well Coronado can hit, that even with 2 outs, he'll move a guy down to third. Count even at 2. He had to bat through the order in just an inning and a third and still no runs to show for it. A little frustrating, I think, for the Vikings. Count stays at 2-2. Greenman, though, was 2 for 2 in that game we had against MacArthur, with a sacrifice in between those. So he can hit. Got away from RJ, I think, a little bit. And here again, he works the count up full to 3-2. Wind blowing from center to left. Fell back in front of us. You see the Irving logo behind home. They don't have the Tiger in center field like the softball, but there's a nice wide look at things. Pretty park, looks good on TV. 3-2 right up the middle. Malcolm Esius played it just right. First put out by the center fielder, so like it or not, Marcus, it's on your shoulders here. Despite Wright not getting the third. Thing is, with 2 outs and first base open, who's not to say RJ plays it on the safe side and ends up walking the runner to first to face Mascaranek instead. There's a little balloon curve, I like to call it, just really high. Still waiting for someone to bite on it. Coronado was up 4 times 2 weeks ago in ICTN. Did not get a hit. Rough night for him. He flew out 3 times and grounded out once. Right back at us. And it's 2-1. 313, 9 RBIs, 2 triples, and 3 doubles. RJ 1 out away from keeping this a scoreless game. Benitez threw in that game we had against MacArthur. Pitched a pretty good game till he had to be replaced right around the 6th and 7th inning. Fastball. Challenged him there, and Marcus came up empty. We have Eric De Los Santos scheduled to join us here for an inning in the 3rd. Talk about the football team and everything else on the campus of Irving. Swung on and missed. Nicely done by R.J. Benitez. His first strikeout. And we've done an inning and a half and still no score. For Irving, in the bottom of the 7th, it'll be Hart, Diaz, and Medina. Vikings have won 7 of the last 7 meetings. We look at some of these scores, and they're, we'll go back to 13. And if you notice, in 2015, Nimitz won that one 12-8 in a high-scoring affair. The only time, at least dating back to 2013, that this game has had a winner in double digits. Had a few close ones too. 3-2 last year, 5-4, 2-1. And then down in 13, 3-2 and a 4-1 ball game as well. So nothing uncommon when these two teams play. Brings out the best in each, and Noah Perez with his pre-inning ritual as he faces Hart, Diaz, and Medina. Hart batting close to 300. Doesn't strike out much or walk much, so that'll tell you he likes to make contact. He's trying to make contact there and came up empty-handed. I would say so far Perez has tossed up about 85% breaking pitches. And right now he has Gage guessing and behind on the count. 0-2. This time Hart waits on it. It's a timing issue, especially on the breaking pitches. A lot of timing. That's outside. Perez has only hit 1 batter this year. Not bad. We've had ball games where there have been at least four guys hit by both teams combined. And struck out about as many as he's walked. 31 of the 36 runs he's given up have been earned. 1-5 overall. Hart, after falling behind 0-2, has evened it at 2. Here's another breaking pitch. It's right behind us and out of play. That game against MacArthur and Nimitz seemed like there were a good 24 pitches that were hit foul and out of the park. Swung and a miss, got him with the breaking ball. So that's the first strikeout of the inning and the ball game for Perez, and all of his successful pitches on the breaking ball. So one of those 4 sophomores, Diego Diaz, the shortstop, coming in. Diaz, the future of this Tiger team. We had a underclassman for MacArthur playing shortstop. A lot of these programs going to the youth, robbing the JV and trying to go elsewhere. There's a well-hit ball to left field. Left fielder back, and hits the base of the wall. Minta had misplayed that one, and rounding second is Diaz. Diaz is going to go for a triple, and he's out. He really jumped all over that breaking pitch. Arminta had to give chase. The thing is, for Arminta and left, watch when it hits the base of the wall, right about here, it comes pretty much right to him. Or it comes to the center fielder, nope, the left fielder. A high throw to hit his cutoff man, but they had him before the tag, before he could touch third. Good play, good call. And there's 2 down. So the left fielder, Arminta, Coronado at short, had to go a little high for the cutoff, but still was able to grab it. And that's when you want that good throw by your shortstop to get the runner. And there are 2 down with 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the second, Medina up. He's going to ground it to first. Campos will go unassisted. And the inning is over. Still no runs across the plate. We are scoreless after 2. We're going to take a break. Stay with us. We'll be back with more on the ICTN Game of the Week. So we're to the top of the third. No score. The catcher, Greg Maskarnik, lead things off and tees off on that one, but high and foul. Well, joining us in the booth for an inning, Eric De Los Santos, the head football coach and athletic coordinator for Irving High School. And Coach, welcome aboard. I don't know if you've ever had the headsets on before.
I never have. Appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity. Thanks to you guys for coming out and supporting Irving Athletics.
There's a pop fly to the right side. Contreras has it, and there's 1 down. Well, you wear the headsets during football season, don't you?
I wear one. I don't know if it's always plugged in.
For show only?
Just for show.
Just act like you're yelling at the players and the coaches.
Of it. Just look like you know what you're doing.
Sure, absolutely. We'll talk a little baseball here, then we'll talk about maybe a little football later between innings. But meanwhile, this will bring up McGee. Michael walked back in the first and was stranded at second. Did you play baseball in high school?
I did not. I did not play baseball. I played up until high school. I enjoyed it. I think it's a great sport. I love it.
It's high school and you decided I better stick to one thing.
Yeah, I just realized that I couldn't hit a curveball and I probably wasn't going to make the cut. And I enjoyed all season. So,
do you see more and more, I mean, as we get along in the years where the 2-sport athlete, 3-sport athletes kind of going by the wayside in high school?
I do see it, but I'll be honest with you, it's been my experience that the 2-sport athlete really comes from mom and dad. I think if you talk to a kid, most kids want to play as much as they can. Young kids.
Are you telling the parents don't want them to play more than one?
I think they read something or hear somebody talk about you got to specialize, and I think they should specialize in being a good athlete. And to me, that's more important than a straight baseball kid or straight football kid.
Second time in the ball game, McGee takes the walk, so there's 1 on and 1 out. Hugo Campos, the junior first baseman, reached on an error back in the first, was stranded at first, though. I don't think is it not that uncommon, though, for a good athlete to play, say, football and track? Do you see that or no?
I
Or
think
even
there's
that?
definitely, I think most good football programs, there's a strong extension between football and track just because, speed is
Right.
good in most every sport. But I do think we have a handful of kids that play multiple sports, not just football track. I mean, there's 3 or 4 baseball, football kids out here that'll contribute on a Friday night for us.
Just think.
We do. I hope that we do a good job of pushing it. We want our kids to play as much as they can in high school because it should be the best 4 years of their life.
Right. Just think last year, Irving High School, right before you got here, their soccer team made it to the Final Four. And
Absolutely.
In soccer, that was the first of the program, I believe, that's ever happened. And it's a good district. It's a competitive district.
Yeah, it's definitely, in all sports. It's not just one sport.
It's
it's
everything, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a dogfight every week.
Right. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. We are in the third. And RJ a little more cognizant of McGee down at first. And he's going, why not? And that's going to be a tough throw for Andrew as he throws that to the left field side. And McGee gets down at second. No problem with the stolen base. As an athletic coordinator, what does that entail?
Oh, man.
Paperwork?
Yeah, quite a bit of paperwork. It really is just making sure that we're running on all cylinders in every aspect of our athletic program, not just football. It's everything from tennis to golf to cross country, and making sure that we're vertically aligned and we got processes in place and that we're doing things right by kids in our community. It's a good job and it's a big job, and I'm very, very blessed to be able to do it.
And it's not just varsity. You've got the JV.
Yes, sir. That's probably the biggest push, when you're trying to build something. You really want to hit a grassroots effort, and you need to get down to those lower levels. We go to our middle schools about 4 times a week, to just show face and help coaches and just to show those kids that, we're excited about them being Irving Tigers. And if the first time they see me or the first time I say hi to them is when they're a freshman, then shame on me.
Gotcha. So you're cultivating at an early age.
We're planting the seed right now. I think you got to plant, and then cultivate and hopefully harvest.
Big strikeout as Campos goes down swinging, so there's 2 down. The infield can relax as both Medina and Diaz were playing in up the middle on Campos. So Armenta, who flied out to the second baseman in the first, comes up with 2 outs. And now he will be asked to deliver. I would probably say here in the early go, Nimitz have had runners at second or third in every inning. And Benitez has been able to escape it.
He's a tough kid. He's the type of kid you want on the mound. He's mentally tough.
You got to be that way.
If you have the ball in your hand.
Mentally tough and a short memory.
That's a fact.
What happened to play before? He's ahead of the count now. It's just don't do anything silly to Armenta. Fastball outside corner but low. I couldn't be an umpire. That's a tough job.
No, I don't want it. It's much easier to sit up here and call balls and strikes.
And second guess them, right? Plus those foul balls hurt. 1-2. Swung and missed. Armenta goes down swinging.
Big.
That is the 3rd strikeout of the ball game for RJ. And we remain scoreless as we head to the bottom of the 3rd. Let's talk about the field a little bit. Everybody got an upgrade, both softball and baseball, and not just Irving High, but the Irving School here, MacArthur, and Nimitz. Quite a process. As the athletic coordinator, were you involved in any of that, or was that already pre-planned as we take a look at some of the improvements going on around the city?
No, I think it was pre-planned. You know, and I think one, it looks fantastic. You know, all three schools got, like you said, to call it an upgrade, I think, is an understatement. I think the fields look great. And more than anything, I think it shows that Irving ISD is making a push to show that athletics, you know, is important. And you got to start somewhere, and I think this is a great start. Great start for a coach, and really I think it gives our kids something to be proud of. I mean, you come out here, why wouldn't you work hard? You got all this stuff around you, and you got a district that's trying to give you nice stuff. I think that's huge. That's huge for our kids and our community.
Said it before, it's really TV pleasing because it looks really good to the camera. And I don't know if I've gotten used to the dirt area,
right,
if you will,
right.
the painted carpet. But everyone seems to enjoy it, and the uniforms aren't quite as dirty as years past.
Yeah, they definitely stay cleaner. And you know, and the other part is you know, as playoffs start to come or bad weather, you know, it's a good spot for us to get other teams from around the area to come and play in Irving and just see Irving and what we're about right now. You know, it's a good way for the district to promote themselves, I'd like to say.
This is the senior, Damian Millen, the left fielder, his first time at bat. It's taken until the third. Shows you that Perez has fooled him pretty much with that breaking ball. You talked about the breaking pitch. Well, Perez has done a pretty good job through 2 innings of keeping Irving on their toes. They've had a few base runners, just a couple here. There's another breaking pitch, and Millen went after that for a strikeout, the second of the ball game for Noah, and that'll bring up Malcolm Esius, a center fielder, playing in center field. Let's see, as we tape this game, this is April 16th. And there's a ball hit well down the left field line. Left fielder giving chase.
A ground rule double.
And a ground rule double.
We'll take it.
So the number 9 hitter delivers with a 1-out double. Watch the pitch, and he got that right in the wheelhouse as Armenta had to give chase, and it bounced. And is that the new turf bounce?
That's the thing of the turf, man. You're going to get a big bounce. Sometimes good, sometimes bad.
So we get the leadoff hitter, Christian Rodriguez, sophomore. Back-to-back sophomores, 3 out of the first batters, sophomores. Breaking pitch, that's going to be a base hit. Malcolm Esius is going to try to score.
Oh, no.
The pitcher to the catcher, he held on to it, and he's out at home. Well, Coach Campbell decided to go for it, and it was a good relay, a good throw. The catcher, Maskarnik, held on to it. Watch again as it goes to McGee. McGee, a one-hopper, and then they throw it in, and the catcher holds on to it. Boy, he's snow-coned it. Yeah.
That's a good job by the catcher.
So he gets thrown out as a base hit by Rodriguez, so he'll be at first. So the Tigers have 4 base hits, still looking for their first run. Scoreboard has them for 4. We've got them for 3. Contreras now up. He's going to have that one fall in left center. You know, that always happens when you send that runner.
100%.
And then what happens? The next guy gets a base hit. So that's actually 3 base hits in this inning. Still nothing to show for it. And there are 2 outs, and R.J. Benitez reached on a fielder's choice in the first. Real quick, Coach, in case Benitez gets an out, you got football coming up pretty soon, don't you, for the guys, right before the end of the year?
Well, we started spring ball on Monday, actually.
Oh, it's already started.
Yes, sir. With 2 practices in.
And you're over here, man. Don't the football coach start biting at the bit once you even do spring ball?
Yeah, I mean, it's good to break up the monotony of off season. And you know, when you have a good off season, your kids get stronger and faster. You know, you want to go to spring ball so they can see the fruits of their labor, and it's definitely been a good first 2 days.
Did you get in early enough to have spring ball last year? So this is your first spring ball?
Yes, sir. I got here with 9 days of school left last May.
Oh, okay. So you literally hit the ground running.
Running, chasing, scratching, winding, I'm not sure.
To the right side, first baseman Campos is there for the putout. And the inning is over. So a double and a couple of singles yet. No one stays and makes it to home plate. We are still scoreless after 3. No score. Back with more in a moment. Stay with us. So we go to the top of the 4th, still scoreless, and it's Perez, Morales, and Wright, the scheduled 3. Perez, who played first base against MacArthur in that game of the week for ICTN, was 1 out of 3 as a number 9 hitter. Tonight he's number 5, or check that 6 in the lineup, so he moved up a couple of notches. Grounded out to the pitcher back in the 1st. So I speculate the district will be once again pretty tough in football.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a good district, you know. Well-coached kids. Really playing communities where football is really important, you know. But my hope is that we're competitive as well. That's the goal.
Well, you know, you always seem to, you're going to have Flower Mound. One of those schools are always going to be tough. Coppell always has a good program, and Louisville kind of came on strong last year.
Yeah, Coach Odell's doing a great job over there at Louisville.
So you definitely have your work cut out for you.
No question. Each week, you know, but I think that's what I love about it, you know, is it makes it that much sweeter when you are able to succeed.
Medina over to first. Well, they don't play the game on paper, so
no, that's a fact.
You can always look at history and look at what they did last year, but that's the great thing about high school is you pretty much just start all over again.
You do.
You're always going to have someone to graduate and some holes to fill.
You know, we were pretty young last year, so that's kind of our bright spot. I think at one point in the season we were starting and playing 9 sophomores and 2 freshmen. I mean, you know, and you got to take that for what it's worth. But those kids, they've got 10 games under their belt, and so we feel good about rolling into off season and feel really good about the spring.
Are they all coming back?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, sir.
It's easy for them not to want to play and give up, but it's another thing to have them come back.
Yeah, I mean, especially after last season, you know. But you try to tell a kid, you know, it's not always going to be peaches and cream. You know, you got to work to change it, and I feel like our kids have really bought into what we're selling.
And it's fouled back. Aaron Wright, the second baseman, walked in the 2nd inning. Wright was 1 for 3. He had a single early on against MacArthur and then struck out and flew out after that. Fastball high and away. You ever play home run derby as a kid?
Yes.
Greatest game to play when you don't have enough to play a game.
Yeah.
Well, he gives up another, and now there's a man at first with 1 down. The thing is that RJ yet to get that 3-up, 3-down inning. This will bring up Greenman. Greenman lays down a nice butt to third. Rodriguez, did he get him in time? He did. That was nothing but just trying to beat out the bunt to first with 2 outs.
You don't see that a whole
play.
lot.
No, you don't. Bang, bang play, and just like that, the inning is over. So we go to the bottom of the third, or excuse me, the bottom of the fourth, and we're still scoreless. Well, since you pretty much got off to a slow start last year, doing anything different, you think, this year
in regards to the season,
and
or
stuff?
just
Yeah, scheme for your players?
No, schematically, I think we're not changing a ton just because we were so late. Our kids, if we're being honest, they weren't comfortable running something new, and I think hopefully after spring ball, there's been a lot of retention between the offensive and defensive schemes.
Right.
So I'm pretty pleased with where we are. But to answer your question, no, not a whole lot of change. The biggest thing was just really harping on, the three things we can control each day: effort, accountability, and trust. We harp on those with our kids.
All right, so we go to the bottom of the fourth. David Loza, who flied out to center. Loza will be followed by Hart and Diego Diaz here in the fourth. Infield pretty much straight away. And Perez keeps them guessing. He's kept them on their toes with the breaking ball tonight.
Yeah, and off-speed pitch has been good to him tonight.
Fouled off right side. We're talking about earlier the new field, and even the lines are painted on, so you don't have to worry about chalking anything. The batter, whatever the batter does, he's not going to erase that batter's box.
Yeah. There's some coaches probably love the fact that you don't have to do any field maintenance, and there's others that I know that would not like a turf field just because of all the work and effort that goes to a great grass field. There's nothing better than a great grass field.
Sure.
But there's a lot of work to keep up with.
Let me tell you, the players are so happy they don't have to rake the field afterwards.
Yeah, you're right.
And the parents that have to wait for their sons to rake the field afterwards to go home.
Yep.
They can't wait. Hart flies out to right, 2 down. So it does kind of expedite things a little bit.
A little bit. There's still some maintenance, you've got to brush it with them. Obviously a different brush, but.
So 2 down very quickly here. In the bottom of the fourth, Diego Diaz. Got in that hot box, that rundown in the second. A little off on that high. Tigers started the season off winning 2 out of 4, winning over Skyline and DeSoto, and then had a rough patch there before beating Lancaster. And that is a called strike. In the pros, they say never show up the umpire.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes.
He'll give you a strike every time. Swung on, strike 2. One thing about the new field and the turf, they said, hey, unless it's lightning, you're not going to have any rainouts per se because of wet ground. There's a base hit to left. Diaz is on with 2 outs, and Medina steps in. Ironically, it was like a year ago. For a couple of years, we had like rainouts galore and reschedules, and we get the new turf. Let's see what that does when it rains. Well, we were never threatened much.
No, that's usually how it goes, but if it does rain, we're ready.
3-2, or it was 3-2. We have a new count, 0-1 now, to Medina, with Diaz down at first. Getting a pretty good lead. It's back at first. If Medina can keep the inning alive, Damian Millen, the left fielder, will be next. Runner moving. Pitch to run on. He stands up. That's the one thing against a pitcher that throws the breaking ball. You can usually get a pretty good jump and get an extra step or two on the catcher. You look at the stats, you see the catcher got stolen on. Well, sometimes it's the pitcher.
Yeah, it's not always a telling stat.
So the 1-1 offering and push to right field, but foul. Perez has had the luxury tonight, at least through 3 2/3 innings, of pitching ahead. He hadn't had to come from behind too often.
Getting a little ambitious on second base there.
A little bit.
Making me nervous.
You can imagine what Coach Campbell and his staff feel.
Yeah, stirrups are getting tighter.
And the 2-2. Ooh, a close one. Man, boy, that was... Jonathan had to have nerves of steel to refrain from swinging at that pitch. So it's 3-2 for Perez against Medina. Bottom of the 4th. Swung on and missed. Strikeout number 4 now for Perez, and we are scoreless. Well, Coach, appreciate you stopping by and talking a little football, a little baseball with us.
Enjoyed it. Thanks for having me.
All right. Good
Appreciate
luck
you
next
guys.
season.
Thank
Have
you.
a good summer.
Yes, sir.
All
You
right.
too.
We're scoreless through 4. Back with more in a moment. So as we head to the 5th, Nimitz has the top of the order. Coronado, Maskarnik, and McGee. High, super high fly behind the plate. Benitez gives chase, and it hits about the first or second row from the front behind home plate. Nimitz winners of 2 of their last 4. They've had a 2-game winning streak during a tournament play, and they had a rough patch when district started, even losing 3-1 to Mansfield Summit during a break in district play. Defeated Louisville. That's a good win for them. 4-1 last time out. Fouled off right side. Coronado 0 for 2, or 1 for 2. He was 0 for 4 a couple of weeks ago on TV. Swung on. Foul, 0-2. Best chance so far for Nimitz was the first inning. And they had 6 guys going up and couldn't score, and he's shaking things off a little bit. Oh, right off the umpire. That's twice tonight that he's been hit. Outside, misses the mark. That was a fairly easy call. The Irving fans are hoping for something a little more favorable. Just trying to get him to go after something bad with a 1-2 count. Curveball inside. Again, Irving fans hoping for that backwards K. Didn't get it. Again, I think RJ just so close. Another curveball, same results. This is a little tight. And now the count is full. RJ doesn't want to give him too much of an easy pitch to hit. He's trying to challenge him, but Marcus isn't taking the bait. Off the handle. RJ's calling everybody off, and there's one down. Well, that was a good at bat for Coronado, but a better pitching performance by RJ. And so there's one down. Nice to have Coach De Los Santos stop by and talk to us for a few innings. As Miss Karnak is now up, and he fouls that one straight back. We continue our trend of plenty of foul balls. 20 runs, the most that Nimitz has scored this year. And that one's hit to right. Loza is there and has the catch for out number 2. In fact, in a couple of their wins, they defeated Arlington Sam Houston 12-1, MacArthur 20-5. When they score a lot of runs, they're going to win. They went through a stretch there of being shut out by the Flower Mound schools, both of them. They had to play them back-to-back. And, of course, you know, in district, you play them again two times in a week. So in 2 weeks, they had to play the Flower Mound schools 4 times, and that's never an easy task for any school. And the results were not friendly. It's a fastball to Micah McGee. He walked, stole a base, stole 2, ended up on third actually with only 1 out, but Benitez was able to strike out back-to-back batters in the third to keep this game scoreless. We talk about those 20 runs the Vikings had scored. That was a big breakout for them. And he walked him again. 3rd straight time tonight that McGee has reached on a walk. So 2 outs. Hugo Campos. Throw over to first. Two outs, 1 aboard. Top of inning number 5. Runner going. So here's McGee with another stolen base. Hugo Campos has reached on an error and struck out in the 3rd. Second time now he's had a runner in scoring position. Oh, he went after a bad pitch. Strikeout. That was only the 2nd strike. They throw to 3rd, and Smith gets to 3rd. Wait a minute, was that 2 strikes or was that the 3rd? No, that was it. There were already 3 outs. A little confusion on the field and confusion here. Inning over. There's your bottom line. Inning is over. So while we have a pause, let's talk a little bit about the Dallas Morning News Class 6A poll. So Prosper, they've been up there at number 1 for most of the year. South Lake Carroll, last year's state champs, by the way, at number 2. And there's Flower Mound and Flower Mound Marcus. That's what this district has to compete against. Rockwall Heath, Allen, Byron Nelson, Jesuit, Coppell, another team in this district, and Arlington Martin. Last year, South Lake Carroll defeated San Antonio Reagan 7-2 to win state. The Dragons were 33-6 overall. Ironically, San Antonio Reagan lost to Deer Park the year before by the identical score of 7-2. You know, one of those quirks of baseball.
Leading off for the Irving Tigers, number 17, Damian Millen.
So as we head into the bottom of the 5th, Damian Millen, Chance Malcolmesius, and Christian Rodriguez, the scheduled 3, against Noah Perez, who, according to my stats, has not walked a batter tonight. 4 strikeouts, no walks. Gets the curveball on the outside corner for a called strike. And those breaking balls have really kept Irving on their heels. Hopper third, Morales, 1 down.
Coming up for the Tigers, number 3, Chance Malcolmesius.
Last time up, Malcolmesius doubled. Tried to stretch it to a triple. Tried to score on a base hit. And got called out. He pops this one high in the sky. McGee is there, and they're 2 down. Well, at this point, we are just in the 5th, but we've got 2 more to go. The question is here, folks, is who's going to come up with a clutch hit? That's in the dirt to Rodriguez. Singled in the 3rd, reached on an error in the 1st. That breaking pitch. We talked about Marcus and Flower Mound in that series against Flower Mound. They lost 3 of its last 4 games, and despite a rough patch, Marcus could be in the driver's seat. They came back strong. Won 2-1 over Flower Mound, at the time ranked 3rd in the state. Had to go 9 innings. Marcus sweeping that series. Could be a gapper. And that's going to keep him at first. So a base hit in 2 of his last attempts for Rodriguez, and now it's Jose Contreras' turn. Right up the pipe. Back-to-back base hits. Like before, Contreras got a base hit right after Rodriguez did. So RJ Benitez will have the duty to try to keep this inning alive. Two on, 2 out. Noah Perez trying to work out of a jam himself. Starts with that left-handed breaking ball and missing. You've got some players, just kind of finish up that thought on the Marcus teams. You got a couple of guys on each team that are D1 performers. And that is outside. Flower Mound, they've got a guy, Austin Wallace, is going to go to UT. A&M signee Blake Mayfield, he pitched 7 innings for Marcus. He's 20-7. Breaking pitch swung on and missed. Well, with 2 outs, it's not like you got to be too careful where the ball is hit. He can pretty much hit and run on anything. He fakes like he's going to go, and it's going to go right up the middle. Back-to-back hits. Are they going to bring him in? They're going to try. Rodriguez, he's got some wheels. He's going to score, and the Tigers have the lead. An RBI single for R.J. Benitez, and his Tigers have the early lead, and I think it's more of the fact that the Tigers have become patient with the breaking pitch, and it's paid off for them in the form of the first run of the ball game. And Rolando Hernandez will be the courtesy runner like he was back in the first inning. Swung on and missed. This is a sophomore Loza. Fouled back. Loza leads the Tigers in RBIs, on-base percentage, and is tied for first in hits. Also has a 3 stolen bases, so good guy to have at your number 4 spot currently. Down on the count, though, 1-2. Was not fooled by the breaking pitch on the outside corner. Still around 75 degrees, wind blowing from right to left field. Right up the middle again, another base hit. Will Contreras be waved in? No, they're going to hold him at third. And a good throw from center field by McGee. One hops it to the catcher. That is 4 base hits in a row by Irving. All after 2 outs. This is a 2-out rally. Noah had to do the hopscotch to get out of the way of the comeback, or most of these have been right up the middle. So it's Gage Hart with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Tigers who lost to a red-hot Capel Cowboy team and Elijah McCormick. And just swung on and missed. He's out on the count 0-2. McCormick allowed just 2 hits and a run, struck out 12 in 5 2/3 innings. As Irving couldn't come up with enough runs, losing just 2-1. I mean, they were in there. Tough to hit McCormick, though. Foul right side. The thing about Perez, the starting pitcher tonight for Nimitz, he's got the breaking ball down. The thing is, he doesn't have a second pitch to complement that. Very rarely do you see him go to the fastball. It works for him there. He gets out of the inning, but the damage has been done for now. 1 run, 4 hits, 3 left on base, and we have finished 5 complete. And the Irving Tigers hanging on to a slim 1-0 lead. This game being taped on April the 16th. As you heard Coach Eric De Los Santos talk about earlier, is that he's already starting spring football. A couple of days under their belt. School will be out pretty soon. 1 more month, and they're over. Oh, you know, the kids can't wait, right? Be curious to see how long that coach Somwang for Nimitz stays with his starter, Noah Perez. He throws so many breaking pitches, though, it's not like he's the fastball has tired him out. I think it's just more patience more than anything on Irving's part. Got to the meat of the order that just the guys kind of followed suit. Oh, he did it, I can do it. And they get the runs to come in. All right, top of the 6th. And Ricardo Armento, 0 for 2. As Karnick has been warming up, the catcher, and the bullpen. To that ends, we wonder if Perez, if he gets in trouble, will they stay with him until he gets in trouble? Got to have somebody warmed up. RJ himself trying to go breaking ball. Infield straight away. Really good ball game. We've gone about an hour, 15 minutes so far. Pretty good pace. The bunt is going to be fielded. Tough throw, and they didn't get him. Armenta with the infield single. R.J. Benitez, the pitcher, had to come off the mound to his right, which is better than to his left. But he slipped as he went to plant his leg and throw to first. And Armenta gets the leadoff base hit in the top of the 6th for the Vikings, who are down by a run. Runner going. And they might have got him this time. Nope, came out of his glove. Armenta is in scoring position with a stolen base and nobody out. For a second there, I thought Andrew had him. Diaz came over from short to cover and might have hit the helmet. So now a bunt could be in order to move him along. Will Benitez go to third? No. He goes nowhere. Nobody covering at first. Noah Perez is going to say thanks. Maybe a fielder's choice on that. You heard people yelling 3-3-3, like try to get their lead runner at third. Double clutched, and Contreras wasn't covering at first. So Perez gets on. Now all this is coming with no outs. Aiden Ponce now at first. We've seen him before as a pinch runner, quarterback for the Vikings. So this is going to be reminiscent of the first, where RJ was able to work some miracles and get out of the inning without giving up a run. At the bottom part of the order, ball. Right to first. Nice play. Forced at first. They throw to second. But the game is tied. So Contreras does what he has to do. Great fielding play. Tagged the bag for that out and then threw down to second, and they tagged him out. But Armenta comes in to score, and we're tied at 1. Boy, it was a liner to Contreras. And Contreras, the 3 unassisted, and then he throws down to second with the shortstop covering, 3-6. So there are 2 outs. The game is tied at 1. And Aaron Wright up. Curveball just on the outside corner for a called strike. So it's 0-2. Wright walked in the second, walked in the 4th. Still looking for that first official at-bat to the fastball line. One of the few fastballs by both pitchers tonight. But going back to that previous play, Morales just hit a rocket to first that Contreras had to dig down low to grab. That could have really been disastrous for Irving, but they get out of the inning with the called third strikeout. The fourth strikeout of the inning. And we go to the bottom of the sixth, tied at 1. Diaz, Medina, Millen, the scheduled 3. Boy, what a really good game tonight. So for Nimitz, it's going to be Miskaranek, number 10. He's got a 7-run even ERA. He's hit 6 batters, struck out 8, has walked 11. This is his 7th appearance. So Miskaranek is the pitcher. Get some eyes on who the catcher will be. Did they move Noah behind the plate? No, I think they moved Noah to first base. Yeah, Perez is at first. And we'll try to see who they moved behind the plate. Diaz, Medina, Millen, your scheduled 3. Here in the bottom of the 6th. That's Flores now behind the plate.
Leading off for your Irving Tigers, number 4, Diego Diaz.
So Flores behind the plate. Miskaranek is your pitcher. Perez, who pitched a pretty good ball game, except that 5th inning, he goes to first, the lefty does, and that's pretty much his spot by nature. Since he is the lefty, natural spot at first base. Diaz has had a pretty good night at the plate. He's gotten on both times. I think if you're Irving and you look at the stats on Miskaranek, you notice that he walks more than he strikes out. And look at there, base hit. Back to back for Diaz. And now Irving has their leadoff man aboard. And the bottom of the 6th. You know, the Irving faithful are hoping to score at least 1 run here in the bottom of the 6th and then take care of business in the 7th. Base runner running, and he's safe. That was a close one. Stolen base for Diaz. That's the first time Flores had to get up and throw behind the plate since coming in. Coach Campbell a little upset at Medina. He must have called a play, and maybe Medina missed the sign. Coach Campbell was at Llano for 4 years, an assistant at Frisco. Dad's a head coach at Louisville, and was not nice to his son. Got the best of him, sweeping Irving 2-0 and 8-2. His dad's been at Louisville for over 40 years, 46 to be exact. He's won nearly 700 games. He's coached a game or two in his life. He's home late at night every spring. That one went off the mitt of Flores. And Nimitz acted like it was a hit and they threw it first, but umpire said it, well, the catcher, Flores, turned around and said, hey, it went off my glove. With Medina, looked like he was faking the bunt or trying to get the bunt. Okay, foul ball. Foul ball and went off the glove of the catcher, perhaps. 1-2. Backhand by Flores to keep that one from going to the backstop. Been about 9 hits by Irving tonight. And yet only 1 run to show for it. That has got to be a little disheartening for Coach Campbell and company. Just not getting the hits at the right time. Breaking ball right down the pipe. Strike 3 called. The first one for Sakaranek and 5th one overall for the team. And Damian Millen. Millen's had some clutch hits. He'd like one here with only 1 out. Pretty pitch. Strike called. Kind of lead off will Diaz get. With only 1 out, and enough of a lead out to get the pitcher's attention. Let's just say that. Oh and 2. Millen down on the count, backhand by the catcher, but outside. Malcolm Esius, who hit a really shot in the 3rd, a big double. He's on deck waiting for his second chance to make amends as he got thrown out at the plate. Bouncing around at second, they come home with the fastball high and tight, and the count is even at 2-2. Fouled back again. You got pretty much the same cast of characters in 6A softball. Flower Mound and Marcus, both of those girls teams right there battling it out for first place. So Flower Mound with a really strong baseball, softball program in place. Runner moving. Good pitch to run on. Just worked out for Diaz. He took off before the ball bounced in front of the catcher, going to give him a stolen base. So now with just 1 out, here's a chance to do something. Millen could try to bunt it. It's a chance with 2 strikes. And he fouls that back. But with only 1 out and a base runner at 3rd, that stolen base changes a lot of things, what a manager can do. Infield drawn in. They're going to cut the run off at home if they can. The runner fakes the move to home plate, and Millen just protecting the plate. Swung away. I don't think he has any intention to bunt. I'd be surprised if he did here on a 3-2 count. That would pretty much surprise everybody. Fastball swung on and missed. A big strikeout. 2 strikeouts in a row from Askaranek. So your number 9 hitter will try to keep this inning alive, but more importantly, give Irving the go-ahead run. Swung on and missed. Askaranek struck out 8, walked 11 coming in. He struck out a couple already just in this inning. Really good performance in the 6th. Fastball inside corner as Malcolm Esius guessing and had him to go after a bad pitch. Seen this happen a lot. Pitcher ahead on the count, Try to get him to go after a bad pitch, but it's so bad it gets past the catcher. Fastball outside and away. Infielders right and Coronado behind their pitcher, backing him up on every throwback just in case. And the 1-2. Popped up right side and out of play. Oh, the pressure's on. Who's going to win this battle? It's fast and tight. Wasn't even close chance. Just had to get out of the way of that one. That was more of, I'm not going to swing, I'm going to get out of the way. Outfield straight away. Wind still blowing center to left. Again, high. Fills the count at 3-2. So Chance, who's down on the count, 0-2, has worked it full with 2 outs. His team tied with Nimitz. The pitch, swung and missed. So Mascaranek strikes out the side. 3 Ks, 7 as a team, and we are tied, headed for the 7th. 1-1. Back with more in a moment. So we're tied after 6 innings. You see the line score. You notice a lot of hits by Irving, but only 1 run. They end up losing this one. That's the thing that's probably going to stand out more than anything. R.J. Benitez, who had a rough first but got out of it. That's the thing. Gave up a single, a walk, and an error, and he was still able to pitch around it. And that was a big inning for him. And then back in the 6th, pretty innocent enough, but the fact that Armenta was able to steal a base and get to 3rd. And there's a shot to short. Handled nicely by Diaz, 1 down. So Greenman flies out to short. And we go to the top of the order, and Marcus Coronado hasn't done much since singling to begin this ball game. Pretty pitch on the outside corner for a called strike for RJ. 4 Ks, 3 walks. Bounce that one into his brother behind home plate, who in turn bounces the ball on the fake artificial surface. Umpire comes out to the pitcher to look at the baseballs. I don't think he was happy with the one he gave him. They're telling me that the catcher took one off the throat, and umpire did the courtesy. That's where he gave the catcher enough time to get his bearings. Ooh, high and tight to Coronado. Strong reflexes by the junior. Hits that one hard to left. Millen giving chase. This is going to be extra bases. Marcus with a double here in the 7th. Well, that was one of those pitches right in the wheelhouse. Tags that one to left field. Millen, all he could do is get it off the wall. That time, Marcus had already strolled into second base. So Mascaranek, who came in to pitch back in the 6th and had a really good outing, will try to match his proficiency at the plate as he did on the mound. With the runner in scoring position and only one out. Benitez looks to second. Oh, nice backhand by his brother Andrew. Boy, he got out of the box quickly to backhand that and keep it from going to the backstop. Coronado had been sitting at third with only one out. Popped him up, left side. Millen says, "I've got it." And there's two down. So Micah McGee, who has done a great job of drawing the walks. There have been 5 walks overall given up by RJ, 3 of those to Micah. And they're going to say, let's make it 4 in a row, and an intentional walk. Intentional walk. And they go to Hugo Campos. Check that. That's the new catcher. That's Ricky Flores. So Flores, who came in to catch, will try to give his team the lead in the 7th. Flores batting .229, 4 RBIs, has hit a triple. That's his only extra base hit out of the 8 base hits he's picked up this year. Used on occasion. Tough spot for Ricky to be in. First at bat. First time he's seen Benitez, who can mix it up pretty good between the heater and the curveball. And he's got a runner in scoring position with 2 outs, and there's nowhere to go after that. And now he's behind the count, 1-2. Wonder if Coach Sam Wang had some other guy in mind, or he needed that catcher behind the plate. Runners are going. They go to third, and he's safe. Got a good jump as Coronado's at third. So double steal. So now Ricky, with the base hit, could score 2. That's a call by Allen, but he thought, what the heck? Could get a bad throw as well. 2-2. Foul back. If Flores can keep the inning alive, Armenta, who just singled the last inning, as his team is about to bat around in 2 innings. Fastball high. It's 3-2 to Flores. If you're RJ, you're facing a guy who's fresh off the bench, hasn't seen you, hasn't had a lot of at-bats this year. You just can't do anything fancy. And the 3-2, just like that. His 5th strikeout of the ball game, and it comes at a great moment with 2 runners on by Irving, or by Nimitz in the top of the 2nd, or 7th. And now we go to the bottom of the 7th. And Irving has the top of their order. There's your key. Irving has just what they need. The top of the order in the 7th against Maskaranek, who besides giving up a single to start things off in the 6th, he struck out the side. So can he repeat the magic that he produced back in the 6th inning? Hey, we haven't talked about Trevor Story in a while, the shortstop for the Colorado Rockies. 1st-round pick in 2011, former Irving Tiger. Made his major league debut in 2016, set a major league record for hitting homers in his first 4 games, and set a major league record for most home runs in a team's first 6 games. That was 7. And then last year, he hit the longest home run in the majors, 505 at Coors Field rewarded as well, playing in his first Major League All-Star game. We get him with the hit on ICTN. We somewhat chuckle here on the staff, thinking, you know, you get these teams just twice a year, so you're at the mercy of what's he going to do those 2 games. Good to see a Tiger in the big leagues. This is a sophomore, Christian Rodriguez. He has singled the last 2 times. In fact, he's been on base 3 times tonight. Good guy to have leading off here for Irving in the bottom of the 7th. Fastball. Nice placement. As Karnak started off as a catcher, came in the 6th in relief. Bouncer to 3rd. Morales, long throw, but fielded by the first baseman. Nice catch, 1 down.
Number 15,
Jose Contreras has got base hits in his last 2 at-bats. 5th inning, where Irving scored just 1 run and had runners everywhere. Over the shortstop's head into left. Contreras swinging at that first pitch. We saw MacArthur do that last time Nimitz was on ICT, and MacArthur swung at a lot of first pitches. See if these guys will do the same. Courtesy runner. Morales doing the pinch running. So with just 1 out, pretty good lead at first. Here's RJ, the pitcher of record for Irving. He could get the game-winning hit and get the win in the ball game, all at 1 at bat. Ball gets lost for a second by Flores, the catcher. Benitez, right off from the get-go, told his base runner, hey, don't move. It's not going anywhere. Unbeknownst to him, Flores couldn't find it. Throw back to first, got him leaning a little bit. Get back to Trevor Story a little bit. Last year, he batted .242 on base, .306 percentage, and slugging .439. 4 homers, 10 RBIs. Another walk. So Benitez is down at first. In all seriousness, all you got to worry about is a runner at second. We're talking about Trevor Story and his 4 homers, 10 RBIs. That's this year's stats. Well, Sam Wong comes out to talk to his players. More of a positional, I think, situation. This is what we want you to do, 1 out especially. If the ball's hit here, if it's hit sharply, if it's close to the bag, you can try to turn 2. But if it's a slow roller or a hit that's like in the hole and the second baseman or shortstop, they have to go, you know, wide range. And there's no way you can hit that double play, and the leadoff guy, Contreras, could score the winning run.
Coming up top for Irving Tigers, number 12, David Loza.
So Horn is now at first. So Hernandez, the pinch runner, is at second. Horn's at first. Now again, we say the lead runner is the most important, but you got to have someone fast at first to stop a double play opportunity. That's why Coach Campbell went with someone a little faster on the bases, try to make sure they don't get the twin killing. Fastball to Loza. He had the go-ahead RBI. But now he's trying to get the game winner. Fastball, pretty pitch, outside corner. He was the fourth batter to get the base hit in that fifth inning. Benitez ahead of him had the RBI. 0-2, one out. Off the catcher's leg protector all the way to the back. Runners move up. That's the last thing Nimitz wanted to see happen. And now, if you take a look at the replay, it's just way outside. Wasn't much of a chance for Flores to try to make it. It hit the shin protector, hit the shin guard, and just ricocheted back. So the runners advance easily. Now the infield's drawn in. They've got to do it. Coach Somwang is out of the dugout a little bit. Flashing signs defensively. Loza, will he bunt? 1-2. Foul to the right side. So you have to think ahead. You have to think, do you send the runner at third no matter what happens? If Loza is able to hit the ball in the outfield, do you send Hernandez at third, tag up and run? Irving had some tough times against Mack doing just that. Meanwhile, the 1-2, right side, out of play. Well, they wait till the 6th and the 7th innings to provide a little drama. Cage Hart on deck. Pass the catcher. Here comes Hernandez. Could be the game winner, but they got him at home. Flores to Mascaranek covering. And now there's 2 outs. Look at the third base angle. They send Hernandez running. Got a nice bounce back. Flores got there in a hurry and threw a strike to his pitcher, who applied the tag, and they got him by about a half a step, half a slide, if you will. So that really now puts the pressure back on David Loza. With 2 outs, he's got to get the base hit. Infield back now. Foul right side. Horn went to third. So he's in good shape in case there's a misplay in the infield. Went up a little bit more now. Pop to right. Right fielder coming in. Makes the catch. And the inning is over. They threaten, but nothing more. Hey, we're at Irving. Why not go extra? We're tied at 1. Back with the 8th inning in a moment. Well, let's go extra innings. Last time we had an Irving game, we went about 4 more, so hold on, folks. This time, though, I was smarter and had my score sheet. Be prepared for the extra innings. So here's what's going on. We got Damian Millen came in from left. He's going to be pitching now. The pinch runner Horn, he's going to play left. And RJ, he's going to move to second base. So Armenta leads things off and grounds it to Diaz, running, tossing. Nicely done by Contreras, the first baseman. He's had to field a couple in the dirt tonight, or in the brown carpet. He came up and made a nice scoop at first base to get Armenta. For Millen, he's got a 5.3 ERA. Next pitch, a slow hopper to third. Rodriguez, right on the money. 2 up, 2 down. Millen has given up 14 earned runs. He has struck out about as many as he's walked, 14 and 15 respectively. But right now he's letting his defensive guys do the work. 2 up, 2 down, Anthony Morales. Lefty. He was doubled up and hit a rocket that, again, Contreras, the first baseman, fielded nicely. Even though that double play gave up a run, if he did not field it correctly, it would have been the game-winning run more than likely. So a good job by Contreras over at first. Strike called. Home plate umpire is one of those that sometimes a little deliberate. You might hear him call it, but you don't see the right arm until a second or two later. Let something off of that. The center fielder, Malcolm Esius, is there, and ooh, made it look a little more challenging than it could have been. Hey, but the bottom line is he made the put out. So believe it or not, that is the first 3 up, 3 down inning we've had tonight. And it came in the top of the 8th. So we go to the bottom. Hart, Diaz, Medina, the scheduled 3 for Irving. And it'll be interesting to see what Diego does, the second batter, because he is 3 for 3 tonight. All singles. Take a look at the Texas Association of Baseball Coaches. They have a top 10 that they put together throughout the state. Cy-Fair Ranch at number 1. There's Flower Mound at number 3 in the state. Prosper, number 5. South Lake down at 10. And San Antonio Reagan, we talked about, seems like year in and year out, is there in the Final Four. They've been there the last 2 years in the Final Four, losing 2 years in a row. Man, that's got to be a heartbreak for a program to get that far, make it to the finals, lose both times in a row. So quite a 6th inning from Escarnek. The 7th a little more challenging for him. Let's see what he does here in the 8th. And it's the second pitcher of the night for the Vikings. Hit well to left. Armenta back. Hits the wall. He gives chase. Hart will stop at second. He's got a leadoff double. And that gives the Tiger fans off their seats. Man, he just tattooed that one. That's the best swing he's had tonight. He had struck out twice. He had flied out to right, but this one, Armenta just had to give chase. Our first base cameraman, Scott Kless, said he was going to see a homer tonight. Predicted it. Well, he came close there. It's not enough in the air. Morning News did an interesting story about pitching, how the balls will travel faster and farther in the heat. Of course, always the wind, too. Off the handle. Can McGee give chase? He does. They're going to tag at second. He's going to end up at third nicely. So Hart's at third. Call that a sacrifice fly out by Diaz, which really was a big out for Nimitz. Looking back on it, because Diaz was 3 for 3. So Horn is now up. Colin went in as a replacement in left field, number 11. He was a pinch runner back in the 7th. Horn used in a few games this year. This is only his 8th at bat. Infield drawn in. A lefty looking for the game-winning hit, bunt, sacrifice, you name it. Flores, a nice job behind the plate to keep that one from going back. Now Hart's got some good wheels at third. Speaking of third, Morales, the third baseman, inching in a little bit more, as well as Perez, the first baseman. That bounces to the catcher. This is where things get tight. Only one out, game-winning run at third. Behind on the count 2-0. There's a big hole up the middle. Catcher goes to his right and stops that one. Karnak losing control. I think Nimitz is going to go ahead and walk Horn. I think they were afraid of what would happen if he tried to pitch to him the way those last 3 pitches had gone. Intentional walk. And now Damian, who has not looked all that well tonight at the plate. So just like RJ, he could be the winning pitcher and get the winning run. He lets the first one go across, and it's a ball. No one looked at Horn going down to second. So the force at second is off. Only one out. There's no strikes. How about a bunt? How about a bunt? Goes right side. Okay, you've got one strike. How about a bunt? Outfield just as shallow. Anything over their head is history. Outside for a ball, and it's 2-1. Nobody warming up in the Nimitz bullpen. So Maskarnik, at least for now, going the distance. Right up the middle. Game over. Hart scores. Millen, winning pitcher, winning base hit. Irving Tigers with a hard-fought 2-1 victory in 8 innings at Tiger Yard. We've seen it before, folks. The hard hits right up the middle. This time it counts, and for Damian, his 4th RBI on the season ends up being a game winner. Boy, what a good game tonight. Tigers win their 3rd district game of the season, but they do so against their rivals at Nimitz. Well, that's going to do it. A good piece of pitching and fielding, and all sorts of elements of the game. It's really been a fun game to broadcast, and we appreciate you joining us. The final score 2-1 for the entire ICTN crew. I'm Rob Willman. Thanks for watching, everyone. Enjoy your summer.